Welcome back to Next Level Transformation Talk. I am Tiffany, the host, the realist with the most, the realist you ever see, hear, and know. Understand? I am coming back to you guys to really talk about this particular inner transformation, because it's something that we all experience, it's something that we all go through, but it's something that is not really talked about as much. It's not something that we dive in as often as we should. And how to emotionally reset when everything feels heavy. I know we talk about emotional heaviness, right? We acknowledge it, we identify it sometimes, depending on where you are in your healing and your transformation journey. You may have learned how to identify when it's time for an emotional reset. Sometimes the emotions get so heavy that you just avoid, suppress, and you don't know how to reset. So this may be for you. This particular message may be for you of how to reset, how to recalibrate your emotional capacity, where you're able to realign and find some inner balance, mind, body, and spirit, where you don't feel your equilibrium is off the rocker type situation. You know what I mean? And it's very simple. It's really not a step-by-step thing. It's just very simple. It's very direct, straight to the point. Put everything down for a second and just lay it down. Like, just let it be. Stop trying to fix, right? Let me tell you something. This is something that is not really talked about when it comes to your inner transformation or your healing journey, where once you authentically start your healing journey, you're constantly fixing. You're constantly trying to heal. You're constantly trying to evolve. It's like a constant, like it's like a full-time job. Not realizing that you do have the right to just put everything down for a second. Like, you don't have to heal everything at that moment. It's okay to acknowledge, and it's okay to be self-aware and leave it at that, right? We get on this journey, and I am a victim of this, where the result of healing something was so profound and so rejuvenating for me that it was something I was continuously doing. I was constantly trying to find things to heal. Even though nothing arose at that moment, nothing came up at that moment, it was just like, okay, any slight trigger, I was like, I can heal this. Let's get down to I was that person. So let's get down to the root of this. Let's try to figure this out. Let's try to navigate this. Let's try to uncover this. And it put me in a space where I was just constantly on go, constantly trying to fix, constantly trying to uncover, constantly trying to heal. And eventually you get burnt out. When you hear the term burnt out or burnout, that's not just referencing professionally. That's not just referencing your job or your business, or it's not just referencing stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads. It's not just referencing that. It's referencing to also emotional recalibration, mental stability, mental adjustment. Like, you burn out once you develop a method, a way, a path, a journey to operate in your highest self. It's addictive. Okay, just be truthful about it. It's very addictive, and it puts you in a space of constantly wanting to elevate, constantly want to grow, constantly want to heal. If you can't relate, that's because you ain't really started the journey. Call it spade a spade. Okay, if you feel like, oh no, it's not, that's because you ain't really done the work yet, right? You acknowledged certain things, certain triggers, certain unhealthy patterns, right? You have acknowledged for sure, and I'm proud of you of that, because that's definitely a challenging step, is to acknowledge. Make sure the mic was on. You had this whole time, 4 minutes in, I had to check to make sure the mic was on. You have acknowledged, but you really haven't started to fix and heal, uncover, address, release, right? Move in forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. But when you do that, and then you see the result of it, you see the maturity level, you see the emotional intelligence you have adapted, you see the reset of your mind and your thought process, you really start to see the elevated confidence and the elevated self-worth, self-respect that you start to adapt once you start the healing journey without bitterness and without resentment, right? Because a lot of you guys are doing the healing work, but you are still bitter. I feel like I have to say this because it's very evident in the conversation. It's very evident in the content that you're posting, right? You may have tried to do the healing work, but you're still bitter. You're still resentful, right? You're still angry. And that's why you're becoming mean, right? There's still some work that needs to be done. But if you just feel like I'm constantly working, like I'm constantly fixing, I'm constantly healing, I'm constantly trying to forgive, like I'm constantly doing the steps, put it down for a second. Nobody's saying that you had to clock in for healing every single day. It could be a part-time job. It could be something that you just work a little bit at a time. It's not a continuous thing. It's not something that you have to do the graveyard shift, overnight shift. You ain't got to do overtime type situation. You can lay it down for a second and just be present. This is what we talk about at Next Level Wellness Club, is move with presence. That's what that means. We have this tendency of always looking to the future. We have a tendency of always reflecting to the past. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that develops and that provides you the opportunity to figure out who you are becoming in the now, right? But sometimes be in the now. Sometimes just be in the present, right? And that's how you lead with truth, when you can move with presence in order to rise with the alignment. That is the correlation. That is the connection of all three: mind, body, and spirit. If you just put it down for a second, you don't have to heal 24/7. You don't have to try to figure everything out. You don't feel have to be like, why is this triggered? Let me tell you something, because this particular message right here is for my intuitive people, my spiritually guided people. Right? Just because you sense, just because you feel, just because you know, doesn't mean you have to dissect. I'm learning this myself. Just because you see their ill intent doesn't mean you have to dissect it. Because you move in paranoia in that aspect, right? It's one thing to be aware, be conscious, right, and operate in a discernment, but don't move into paranoia where now you feel like you got to look over your shoulder. We ain't in a hood type situation, right? We know who the ops are. So you don't have to be paranoid with it. Just allow it to be what it is. And then you realize, okay, I need to do an emotional reset, because I'm really moving on paranoia. I'm like, what they on? What they trying to do? What did it? Nah, we're not moving that way, baby. There's no peace. It's one thing to be aware. It's one thing to do the healing work, and one thing to elevate to your highest truth. Peace is supposed to come with that. And if you're doing that and you still don't have internal peace, and that's because it's time for an emotional reset, right? Just put stuff down for a second. Allow things to be. Sit in the present moment. Do things that focus on your happiness right now. Don't really focus on things of healing. Granted, a lot of you guys have a lot of things to heal. So if that's all you're focusing on, you're not living. Okay? Still live the life that you are blessed to have. But also just know, you just do a little bit unpacking each and every day. I pray this provided some clarity for y'all, some understanding. Listen, we dive deep into this, and so if this resonated with you, if this connected with you, feel free to connect with us at nextlevelwellness.club, Inner Wellness Circle, for more information. We really dive into it. We connect. You have accountability partners when you are navigating your inner transformation, mind, body, and spirit. Going from burnout to balance is our key, is our goal, but is recognizing, right? So, Next Level Wellness Club for more information. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be a blessing. Yeah. Until I do, y'all be blessed too.